Why hello there fellow farmers, Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Timberborn 1.0. Episode 17, Building Drought Irrigation. Now the only issue with this project is I need a way for water to keep feeding this river until the project's done. Because if I totally cut off access to water on this river, my crops dry off. So I will also have to like create some sort of alternative path for the water here to flow into the river while I work here. So basically damming this area up so I can build and then diverting the water from like here downwards might be reasonable. That way I don't totally stop the flow of water because, you know, that would cause a lot of problems. So let's also blast a little path here so this river continues to be fed. And then once we have this blasted out and this blasted out, I can work on this project without worry of like, you know, breaking the flow of the river or anything like that. Right, there we go. The river still flows, just differently. All right, now for priority, let's get rid of these trees and these trees. And if it's hard to visualize, you just, you know, it's one of those like wait and see. It will make sense once it's done. And the only other thing is we'll need to blast right there as well. And this will need to be too deep to match the height of the water that's available. So it's going to be 2 deep blasts here, 1 deep blast here, and then it just can spill freely. I won't really care about how it flows from here. So that is very important. And then if you can picture it, if I raise the height of these floodgates up to, let's say, 0.95, which is like, or 0.95, which is kind of the highest I could manage without it flowing back over the water source. This is how high I can get my water supply. My internal tanks. So it goes about this high, which is fine. Works for me. All right, let's continue making explosives and extract, because my bad tide water is just about topped up. Am I able to build dirt over the source blocks? No. I don't think you can do anything to that. As you can see, doesn't seem possible. I don't know if that's the truth, but I haven't been able to affect that personally. Oh boy, why did that? Oh, because I changed the height of the water, so it overflowed a little bit. That's fine. Oh god, bad timing. Okay, now that that's built, we'll put the double height platform in. And then if we want to build this stuff, we need to have some sort of ramp. So we actually can walk there. There is a sensor for water level. I just haven't been using it. Alright, so the most important part is this part, so we can feed this river a different route. But during this drought, I'll be able to like blast everything, because it's not like the water level will matter. So before this drought, this is basically topped up. This is topped up. Yeah, like, this is topped up. We don't really need to retain any more water. In fact, these, like, aesthetic river projects are, like, done. Just about. At least the lower part is. So, yeah, there's really no more, like, drought prep we need to do. Nice. Yeah, because you keep asking, if you want to gauge the contamination level and the water level, the stream gauge does it. So, the way the stream gauge works is it has a depth of 4, and you just, like, plop it down and it tells you how much water that you have. So if we wanted to put it... I'll just put one here, because I keep getting asked, but eyeballing it is fine, as far as I'm concerned. I don't need a closer measure. 19 days. Okay, so our last one was 20 days. So this is a less significant drought than before. And now an alternative path for water for our main river has been obtained, which means I can commit to this. So everything in this circle is going to get blown up. Now, learning from our mistakes from last time, I want to make sure that we, like, blast in a way that reduces the cost. But also, now that it is drought, let's also pause. So, and also pause extract. I have a lot of extract. I don't have a lot of dynamite. So the bad tide water will be for dynamite. Is this wider than it should be? I think it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, this is correct. So those trees are in the way. But I measured it out right. I mean, honestly, it doesn't need to be a square or a cube or whatever. It's, like, not the important part. To make this cheaper, I'm not going to build this up. Just yet, and instead use it as a path to do more blasting. That will make it so I have fewer ramps to build when laying this out. So what I mean by that is eventually I'll build it up, but oops. But use this as a path initially to blow up this section that I otherwise wouldn't be able to get to. So something like that. So then I can nuke this because it becomes pathable. Trying to blow this up efficiently is a little tricky. All right, metal smelters, pause. And pause, because I have a lot of smelted metal. I can free up more workers for other things. Gears, I can pause as well. Planks, I can pause. And I have 2 people that are completely unemployed, so I'll put them back on science. Just keep building up an obnoxious amount of science, because, like, why not? Solve unemployment, just go be brainy. Dog treats. Hey, Tusk, you want to come back? There's a treat there if you want it. Treat? Tusk. Go back. Go my helama. There you go. I have to use an authoritative voice for her to listen to me, if you were wondering. Otherwise, she's like, nope. Hold on. Before you build that, I can walk here, but only when this wall isn't built, so I don't want to do that just yet. Otherwise, this section becomes unpathable. And any section that's like at the edge of the water container, I don't care about because we can infinite down layout explosives. Like this section is fine. It's the insides that are the annoying bits. And I'm trying to get everything to the same level. And then I have to figure out how deep I should go, considering the irrigation tunnels that I'm going to blast. But boy, is this going to be a hell of a project. So now I'm just trying to equalize the elevation levels of all this stuff. Looking at my food, I have plenty of carrots, but I think I'm also going to employ 2 more farmers because we're finally falling behind on potatoes and on sunflowers. And having more farm hands will solve that. Obviously, I'm not doing anything with the wheat just yet, but, you know, that's not a big concern of mine at the moment. Cheers! Alright, this dynamite's done. Cool. And we can, I think, unpause that. Nice. And I'll prioritize this path here to be able to blast this down. We really only want that square because the others are pathable. I mean, I'm going to want explosives there, but like, it's far less urgent. One of those, like, I'll place them, but I can do it whenever. Alright, my main river is low enough. I'm just going to release water from this dam. Filling it back up. And then I'll tap this once this runs out. This aquifer should keep my farms irrigated for now, because I'm not pumping water here. So all of this water being efficiently trickle fed to this area should keep my farms alive, as long as I'm smart about it. And careful about how I use the water. Yeah, I used to have 50 water. Now I have like 100 or 1,000. It's because I have a big tank. And the biggest advantage of the big tank is the distance to travel to the tank is so small that one pumper is able to like keep this tank at 1,000. It solves a lot of logistic problems. Very nice. Alright, we're down to 91 bad water. I might run out of bad water for the dynamite before this is up, but that's okay. And then the last part of this is like to figure out where we're actually doing the tunneling. And I think for the funsies, I'm going to tunnel beneath my current river. So I actually might have the tunnel connect to my excavation drill area. But like beneath the regular river. So we have like multi-layered water, which is just a cool concept. It doesn't need to happen like that. It sounds interesting to me, which is why I want it. Yeah, that zipline station is coming in handy. Definitely getting some good use. How many levels down will this big tank go down for a 19-day drought? 3, maybe? Almost 3? It was basically 4 last time, but with this big tank topped up, I am not... You have to consider, like, this big tank holds a lot of water. So when we had very little water and I, like, filled this up all the way, we sucked a whole lot of water out of the big tank quickly to urgently fulfill the need for water. And this time around, that just won't be the case. So let's, now that we're at about, actually, I know exactly how high we are. Now that we are at 0.6 depth, let's try to bring that up to like 0.95 depth by lowering this. So you can see we've added 0.5 to it. You know, we can sort of measure it out. I'm trying not to waste any, have it overflow. Okay, we're at 0.8 depth. And the advantage of this project is if we know the evaporation rate for the total surface area of the aqueduct that this feeds, we can set up a... So the way the throttling valves work is they let out a certain amount of water as a flow rate. So once we have this project done, we'll set up a throttling valve where the amount of water it lets through is exactly the evaporation rate of a river, meaning that a river level never goes down as long as there's water in the tank. If you were trying to understand the value of this project. So it essentially counters evaporation so that for long droughts, we don't have to worry about irrigation because it will just fix that. Oops, that might be too much water. But now that we're only like 12 days away from end of drought, if this is anywhere, if this is 12 days is like 0.6 depth of evaporation. So now that it's above 0.6 depth of evaporation, there's going to be water in this river by the end of this drought. And it's why I put so much effort into the west levee initially. Oops, we're letting some out. Whatever. There we go. Perfect. It's why I put so much effort into the west levee here, because I knew that it would solve a lot of problems all at once, having just an abundance of water to counter droughts and also a way to divert bad tide. You know, it's double trouble. All right. It's funny, you can see that it had a leak. Oopsie. It's funny, during this bad tide, I think I have a higher percentage of the map irrigated than like ever before, just because of this like cosmetic project over here. Because all of this is now irrigated without bad tide water. So like by percent, this is the greenest it's ever been, roughly. Which I just find funny. What was in here? Oh, water? Yeah, not anymore. Alright, we are almost done with the initial wave of blasting. With a caveat, because this is like a 4 depth dirt, and we're only blasting the 3 depth. So I know that that's going to have some fixing to do. Oh no, the emergency water barrel. I mean, that was never getting filled up. Hasn't been filled up in a long time. I don't think. I'm going to furlough the observatory because I have enough injuries from the dirt excavation that we need the manpower back. There we go. Ba-boom. Alright, so it's flush now. Sweet. So I want to haul away those... Yeah, there we go. Haul this way. Nice. So building up the dirt dome, if you will. And then to get down here, I think for aesthetic reasons only, I'm going to change this up. Again, cannot stress enough, aesthetic reasons only. This is just for the aesthetics, guys. It's to make it look nice. So if it was a problem, you're welcome. I mean, I have 2 floodgates, 1 on either side, rather than 2 on one side, for symmetry. And then once this is done, and the dirt is done, we'll reach a point where I have to figure out the depth that I want to tunnel. Which, I think... I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna get rid of these blueberry plants, and start the tunnel from here, and connect up to the tank. And they'll have to meet halfway. It's kind of like, as a Bostonian, the Big Dig. It's more or less what the Big Dig was about. Starting the, like, Ted William tunnels and other tunnels on 2 different sides and trying to meet in the middle. Or English Channel. That's a more famous example, maybe. As long as your engineering is correctly and you meet up in the middle. And not, like, off to one side and do it wrong. Now, the only disadvantage of setting up like this is, they will not synchronize adjacent floodgates. So I can really only control 1 floodgate at a time, but that's fine, because this is going to be trickle-fed, so it doesn't need a high flow. Because we're going to treat it the same way we treat this, where it just gets topped off from overflow. That's way more like set and forget than... So basically, it fills up to the overflow level automatically at, like, what would that be, 0.9? Which is why the non-synchronous gates, like, I don't care about. It doesn't hurt me at all. So, just 3 more pieces of dirt. Alright, so the other section is What we want to do is we want to irrigate from below. And this might be a little bit trial and error because I haven't done a whole lot of this before. And what that is going to look like is we are going to want to blast 2 down from here, which will be the height of our tunnel. 1 down from here. And 1 down from here so that it can form like a step so that we can walk to the tunnel entrance. And then have our tunnel like turn here and run essentially water underneath where we farm. So that it's irrigated from underground. Because that's what you voted on. It's way more complicated, but like it's cool. So being cool is good enough for me. So at this depth here, let's see. At this depth here, this is at depth 2. And this is at depth 4, essentially 4. So this is deep enough that it will be able to irrigate upwards. And this, actually, maybe I want a depth 5. No, I want to do it depth 4 and then blast down 1. Okay, so this will work. So I will set up a ramp like that. Ramp like that. And before I set up that ramp, I think we can start the tunnel here from above. No, district paths. Okay. All right. Oh my god, let me click on... Drag! Drag! Why can't... Oh, it's already built. Oh, I'm a moron. I thought it was still the ghost vision or whatever. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And then, what ends up in its place when you blast a tunnel like that is a platform which you do not need to keep. You can recover the planks to cheapen the project. And then the concept here is we'll blast 1, and then once a 1 depth tunnel is fully blasted, we'll line the whole thing with dynamite and make it depth 2. So that it can last longer. So, let's start working out the path. From here, we'll go this way, which is, actually, let's swing it more like this, which is like underneath where the blueberries are. If we are to keep... Actually, let's not keep the blueberries there anymore, because it's not really part of the forestry zone. So let's not worry about that. So we'll run it, our tunnels, maybe roughly under the road system. And that's for like beauty, so that we have green grass. Which is here. And have it go under this road system and then like up where the river goes to then connect to here. So have it go here to there. It's kind of hard to visualize, but we'll want to make it, you know, that's the important bit. And then once the tunnel is gone, where I think it's at this depth. Yep. So then on the other hand, whoops, I can correct that. We want to connect it there. It's a mega project. So then the other important part is we need to blast our holding tank down to depth 2. And the advantage is this will hold an incredible amount of water because it's so high elevation, right? This tank starts at 17, whereas our other tank starts at like 9 or whatever. So it's a way greater volume, vertical column of water able to trickle feed, you know, the farms. Now, what is important is I'm going to intentionally put a cut here because we don't want it without a throttling valve. Because without a throttling valve, this will start to flood. Plus and pop out where this is. It's actually worth noting we might want to eventually reroute it around the dirt excavation tunnel so that the dirt excavation tunnel isn't helping to increase evaporation or anything. I could keep it dirt excavation tunnel and just go around the tunnel. That could work too. That might look neat, because then we'll have like a weird gangway around the excavation tunnel or something. I don't know. But what we need to do is we need to start working away down there now. So I'm going to blast here and then start building a ramp to get lower. And what's annoying about this, actually, before we blast there, how deep do we need to go? I can put a triple dynamite here. Is that going to be deep enough? So we're at... yeah, okay, we need to go so much deeper than that. So let's figure out the max depth first. So don't even blast there. Forget that. I lied. Because we can infinitely place dynamite here, I'll just keep blasting this hole until it's the correct depth, and then start creating scaffolding. All right, another triple. Can you blast up? No. Blasting is sideways or down, not up. Right, let's dump the last of the water. I don't know if we need it, but like, whatever. So now we're at depth 0.57. Which would be enough to survive 11-day drought. We're at day 6.5 left. And this has gone down 2 and change, pushing 3. So I think by day, when the drought ends, we'll be at 3 depth or so. I think my prediction was roughly right. So I think from here we only need 2 depth blast to get to the other tunnel head. So some of this tunneling is like not needed. And how's the other tunnel going? How far have we gone? Around the corner. And what I've been doing is I've just been like deleting the scaffolding to refund the planks so that we're not constantly making more planks than we need. In fact, I'm going to pause plank production entirely. And I'm also going to pause dirt excavation because we maxed on dirt and I don't really have need of dirt at the moment. And that will help with injury rate. Okay, is this the correct depth? Nope. 1 deeper. That was wrong. So now, from here, we will be able to tunnel this way. Make sense? And then we fill this with water, and it irrigates above, the soil above. So, in order to get to that tunnel head, I'm going to need to blow a lot of stuff up. A lot of stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to start to build platforms, triple high platforms, Because now that we have the maximum depth... Actually, technically speaking, if we're going to make it... If we're going to make it too deep for the irrigation, I should blast one more. So it's nearly at maximum depth of the map. It's like one shy of max map depth, I think. Because I think this is... No, maybe it is max depth. Which is good use of the map, I guess. Does it go any lower? Oh, it does go one lower. Okay, so it's almost maxed out. All right, now we can start building the platforms. Oh my god, there's so many platforms. And, ooh, you know what? Let me think. I'm gonna try to design it in such a way that I can, like, get rid of all the soil down here without having to build a lot of, like, extra infrastructure. So that would be a consideration. So my first ramp down here wants to be to this level. And then I'll blow that level away 3 down and then keep building the ramp down. Does that make sense? Oh, dog treat. Sorry about that. I got distracted. Here you go, puppy. She's not even moving. All right. It's a fun project. I haven't actually built anything like this myself. So it's kind of cool to, like, build this massive, ridiculous nonsense. I like it. I call it massive, ridiculous nonsense in, like, an endearing way, if you will. That does mean the throttling valve should probably be here at the lowest level. Maybe 2 vertical throttling valves. Just for insurance. Oh yeah, I need a ramp. Duh. I could make a circling stairway from below. I could, yeah. It requires a lot more treated planks, which, like, is more expensive and labor intensive, which is why I haven't been doing it. I could, but I won't. It's cheaper my way. Or, yeah. It's more expensive wood-wise, but, like, cheaper. In terms of labor, I think. And wood is cheap and labor is not. Come on, build that, guys. Alright, 3 days left in the drought. Main river is at 0.39. Yeah. Cool. Oh, there we go. So now we're just going to keep layering dynamite until we get down to the level that we want. And then once we get to that level, we'll build scaffolding up, and it's... repeat the process until we reach... Oh, it's 3 down. Well, I can always put dirt if it ain't. I like how it does ghost the, like, explosive, so you can see the depth once bombed. And we almost have flowing water. One, two, three. Yeah, we've lost just about... We have 2 days left. We've lost just about 3 layers of water in our main tank. For a 19... Was this 19 day? A 19-day drought? Okay. Platform time. I'm probably out of bad water. That I am. So, pausing dynamite for now, because I don't have a bad water source. So there's only 12 more bombs I can blow up before we have to pause for the moment. In terms of our own water, this main tank is completely full. Planks, maybe let's start working on them again, because we're doing a lot of plank projects now, and I did let them run low. But all in all, I think maybe briefly enable the tap shack for pine resin. But everything else is looking pretty good. Such a weird project. But it's pretty grand, I must say. The Grand Sluice Gate. I don't know. Can you guys want to come up with like a name of what this should be called? This like super project? Giga Sluice. The goddamn. I can think of hundreds, so I'm gonna stop before I dad joke cringe you to death. Alright. Flowing water. Here we go. Personally, I kind of like the goddamn, but I don't know. I could go either way. One thing I have not checked yet, one of the reasons why we're probably really low on planks. Oh, no, actually, they stopped tunneling. Is this because it's too far from District Center? Yes. So this is just a result of having not pathed to here. And to here. It's really not actually all that far from District Center. It's like, I don't know, 20 units or something. But yeah, that's fixed. Alright, with the flows going, I'll be able to start making dynamite again. And extract. I'll wait until it's really spooled up. And, yeah, 3 units of water. I was right on the money. Right on the money. Alright, I don't really need to fill this water tank up right now, so I'm going to raise these up fully, because this filling with water does me no... It doesn't help. And I need, what, 1 more dynamite? Yep, 1 more. Alright, so now flows are back to normal. Thank you for tuning in to Timberborn 1.0, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow beavers.